Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
I was just remembering this Lindsey Graham audio because I thought it just stop already with the I'm not excited about either. They're both I don't know, lesser of two evils. Joe Biden is as good a man as Donald Trump is evil. There has never been less a case of both sides do it. This is Lindsey Graham when he was speaking
2016.
truth. Yeah, this was 2016.
The bottom line is, if you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem. You need to do some self-evaluation, because what's not to like?
Yeah.
Here's what I can tell you, that life can change just like that.
So when is Lindsey going to do this self-evaluation?
Yeah, one more.
Don't take relationships for granted. I called him after Bo died, and he basically said, well, Bo was my soul. We've talked for a long time. He came to my ceremony and said some of the most incredibly heartfelt things that anybody could ever say to me. And he's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics.
There you go.
He's crying. He was
crying.
crying
He was
talking
crying.
about how good a man Joe Biden is.
He is as good a man as God ever created, and we don't agree on much. But I think he's been dealt a really gut blow. I think he focuses on what he's got to do, not what he lost. His heart's been ripped out, but he's going to make sure that the other members of his family is well taken care of. And he started talking about his grandkids. More worried about them than anything.
So, the President Biden was asked about Lindsey. This was not
When
it was in
Lindsey
2020.
first got elected, he asked whether he could travel with me internationally because I was doing a lot. I was John McCain and used to argue like hell, but we're each other's friends. John asked me to do his eulogy literally on his deathbed when I kissed him goodbye, and he died shortly thereafter. I don't know, quite frankly, what's gotten into Lindsey.
Yeah. One more.
I don't know what happened. You remember when I was down here when Fritz Hollings asked to have the courthouse renamed after the federal judge rather than him. And if you go back and look at that, all the incredible things Lindsey said about me at the time as well. He knows me better. He knows my kids. He knows me. He knows John. He knows his children. He knows my wife. I can't figure it, but I don't have any time to hold a grudge.
Yet another difference between him and Donald.
Or spray paint himself or put on
Right.
a girdle and ridiculous ferret on his head. Okay. Not referring to anybody.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, but that'll be the history of our time when it's written, right? What has happened to Lindsey Graham, to this version of the Republican Party? It is just okay to the point where this Baltimore, any tragedy is turned into what Biden did wrong or root against America. Angry staffer tweets, and just like that, all the right-wing epidemiologists and neurologists turned into marine mechanics, propulsion experts, and structural engineers overnight. I mean, right? How is this bad for America? So we can blame it on Biden, right? Walter Masterson tweets, as the CEO of Antifa, I would like to commend MAGA on exposing our plot. The 100-ton Singaporean cargo ship that rammed the Baltimore Bridge, built in 1970, was a direct result of DEI, open borders, fentanyl, and Taylor Swift. Not to mention a deliberate attempt to distract us from... I can't remember what the... Oh, it got cut off, whatever the last thing is. Okay. Donald Trump's trials, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
being a
Probably,
criminal. The Mayor Scott of Baltimore was on with Joy Reid yesterday because it's just we keep saying. I said to Joy when we just had her on a couple weeks ago, racist dog whistle's gone.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's just foghorn now, right? This is the mayor.
I know, and we all know, and you know very well, that black men and young black men in particular have been the boogeyman for those who are racist and think that only straight, wealthy white men should have a say in anything. We've been the boogeyman from them since the first day they brought us to this country. And what they mean by DEI, in my opinion, is duly elected incumbent. We know what they want to say, but they don't have the courage to say the N-word. And the fact that I don't believe in their untruthful and wrong ideology, and I am very proud of my heritage and who I am and where I come from, scares them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. One
I
more.
have to talk about those lives that we lost. Those folks came to this country to fulfill the American dream, the dream that they say should exist for everyone, but they really mean just for them. They were working, filling potholes in the middle of the night so all of us that used that bridge could had better transit. This port is one of the most important, not just in the U.S., but in the world. And these folks that depend on these jobs, we are going to be working very quickly alongside and following the lead of our federal government, our state government, supporting in every way we can to get this port open back up. But we have to do that safely.
Yeah, exactly. And one last one.
To make sure that nothing else happens in the getting it back up and working. We're going to do that each and every day. Everybody is working here together. We're ignoring all the conspiracy theorists, everyone who's playing bridge engineer at home, who's never even taken a class on engineering, and understanding that what this is about is showing the world once and again that Baltimore can't be broken, that our spirit is strong, and we will rebuild together and honor those who we lost.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was not even a pause, while they were still looking for bodies. They were with these ridiculous conspiracy theories. Oh, by the way, Uncle Rob Reiner, sexy liberal, who I'm sure will join us for Sexy Liberal, as he always does. He tweets, "I'm in the midst of shooting a sequel to This Is Spinal Tap. As much as I'd like Taylor Swift to do a cameo in the film, I'd give anything for her to endorse Joe Biden. She would virtually single-handedly save American democracy." Well, she did last time, and I think it's pretty clear she's for Biden. But yeah, I agree. That would be fantastic. And also, if Uncle Rob would bring her along to a Sexy Liberal, whichever one he does here in L.A., it doesn't matter. Either, or maybe sometimes Rob's done New York too, or DC. Either one. You just check the. If you check the Swiftie schedule.
Isn't she overseas right now?
Oh, I don't. Well, right now we've got 15 cities. I'm sure we can work it out.
Tour every day.
Right. What?
She doesn't tour every day. She goes to the Super Bowl
Yeah,
some days.
exactly.
Well, but she came from
Find
a show.
out when the Swiftie concerts are and when the football games are. We'll figure it out. We'll move the Sexy Liberal schedule around if we have to.
Oh, we will?
Speaking of giant crowds, look at that.
Yeah.
Liz Cheney in Des Moines last night. If you think people aren't paying attention, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Wow, that had to make mad.
11 billion people.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel Bidikofer, our friend, says at some point all the Biden will lose doomsayers need to explain why Democrats are putting up 20 points in swing races in Alabama. Yeah, and hold please. Here's so little time. Kyle Griffin said 70% of registered voters say it should be possible to charge a former president with a federal crime for alleged crimes committed while in office. According to a new Quinnipiac poll, just 24% disagree. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say we are still a nation of laws. Anybody? Bueller? Just me? Okay. Like, look at this fine American. Some fine American named Mark Hamill.
What? Who's that?
Said, "Hey,
I've heard of him.
Stephanie
sounds
Miller's
familiar.
show and Debbie for Florida. I love this woman. I happily endorsed her and sent a donation, and it has nothing to do with despising Rick Scott ever since I can remember. Hey, Florida, please vote for @Debbie for Florida." We had Representative Debbie Mucarsel.
Mucarsel Powell.
Thank you.
If you'd like to hear that interview again, it will be a part of this weekend's Happy Hour podcast.
Thank you.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.